Hello, I wasn't going to do a blog today, but I saw on the news about the little Mexican-American boy that did the national anthem at the Spurs game. So I want to talk a little bit about that. Now, I want to start off by saying that the world is still very ignorant. It's so sad that they are talking about this child and they were tweeting and saying things about him, calling him racial slurs, and saying things about him that wasn't really cool. And I just want to say that in 1492, 521 years ago today, and that's my little baby. Cyrus, say hi.
Hello.
Bye. I teach my kids the true history, which I'm about to give y'all a little history lesson. 1492, 521 years ago, I say was the first invasion of globalization. But to Americans, it's Columbus's voyage that led him to discover America. Now, he, quote unquote, discovered America. But I ask you, how can you discover a land that was already inhabited by natives whom discovered the land thousands of years before he did? Now, therefore, the word or phrase I say, discovery of America, is obviously inaccurate. What really took place was the invasion of America. That's why when they also say they conquered America, they're right. They conquered the land by invading it. You cannot discover a land that's already inhabited by people. You can discover an uninhabited area. I can't go to Mexico or India just because I've never been there and say, oh, I discovered it. You cannot discover a land that's already been there and inhabited by natives thousands of years ago. Hold on, Cyrus, give me a second. America celebrates October 12th, 1492 as Columbus Day, the discovery of America. But what you're really celebrating is the invasion of America, where horrific things took place. Now, they did change Western civilization, and it was a turning point in world history. But another turning point was Hitler coming into power. Hold on, baby. But you don't see us celebrating Hitler Day, do you? No, we do not celebrate things like that. That's when the horrific things took place. And I'm just trying to prove a point here. Horrific things took place, and so did Columbus and his people. They did bad things to the natives. When Columbus landed on American soil, he called the natives Indians because he thought he was in India. And to this day, we call them Indians. Why? I can't go to a land or to the Bahamas or Jamaica and be like, oh, I've never been here before. Look at all those people with dreads. Let me call them dreaders. And that's it. No, Columbus came here. The natives were here. He's like, they're Indians because I'm in India. No, you idiot. You did not land in India. You were in America. So, there were natives of the land, and they are the true Americans, to be honest with you. And there were about 10 million or more natives all the way to El Rio Grande, which is by Mexico. And slowly they were all invaded and killed, and their land was taken away because they had no rights to their lands to these invaders. The natives were uncivilized. So the invaders, like I said, were Columbus and his people, which are now Americans, and the natives that were here that are Indians are not American. Their land was taken away. To this day, they live on certain land that's for Indians, and the Mexicans were pushed away to Mexico, and they're bordered off, and they're no longer U.S. citizens. But the Americans, aka Caucasian people, because their skin is white, they even look at Spanish people and be like, oh, you're not really American, go back to your country, wetbags, and all this and that. That poor little boy that sang so beautiful, that probably sang better than most of those, some 10, 11-year-olds, better than your child probably, went on there and sang beautifully and wore his Mexican outfit. He is Mexican American. His father served our country, served in the Navy, and no one has the right to say that to that child. And it's very, very disgusting to me. Like, learn your history. You're gonna sit there and call this child a wetback, go back to your country. They said horrific things. You know, you're tweeting this, and you're all of you are a bunch of haters, the one that said negative things about this little child. Like I said, pick up a real history book, not the history lessons that are taught now in public schools, because that's what they want you to learn. They want you to go to school and be like, oh, this is when Columbus discovered America, and he made colonies, and people came here, and they were persecuted and discovered America and made a bunch of beautiful little peaceful colonies. No, they raped the Indian women, Indian natives really, killed the men because they didn't have guns like these people. And they did horrific things. They were like, oh, you're not uncivilized. They were hunters and gatherers, and they looked at them like uncivilized people just because they came there wearing clothes, nasty and dirty, uncircumcised, dirty people that were on boats for 6 months and didn't even shower, and giving women infections and diseases. I don't want to get all into that. I'm just really disappointed at these people that came and said those things to this child that sang before the Spurs game in San Antonio, and it's a disgrace. Learn your true history. It was an invasion of America, not the discovery of America, and realize who the true Americans are. Thank you.